We have
Official.
KJ, a longtime member of LKS Discord, and I have a couple of questions for you today.
Great. Good to see you, Angela, and looking forward to talk to you.
All right, first question. How long have you been trading for?
So I've been trading close to probably 2 years. When we just talking about short-term trading, yeah.
Wait, so that means you literally started like during kind of the bull market in 2020?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think after I left my most recent job as an executive, I then kind of been always kind of an investor, and also in the 2020 era and late 2019, I've been consistently buying into the stock market. But it was only probably a year after getting into like the COVID times that I started looking into like other ways to possibly make money, and that was trading.
And so what style of trading have you found yourself doing more and more these days?
I've been floating between two, and I think my journey in LKS has been trying to figure out which one is best for me. So there's scalping and there's swinging. Scalping, is your intraday trade. You do everything within a single day. It can be as fast as a few minutes to a couple hours, but it's one of those things where if I don't want to leave psychological baggage on the table, I do
Yeah.
scalping. And
Mhm.
then swinging is a little bit something I like because it's more hands off. You can let the trade play through. This requires a little bit more technical, like TA, to know where the trade
Mhm.
might go, and also having LKS as the guide for these scalps and swings is always helpful.
Do you prefer one or the other now, or are you still kind of figuring it out? Or you do both?
I think as I get more busy in my life, I'm leaning more towards swings because scalping, for something to play out, if it doesn't play out immediately, then it can last longer. And I don't want to just sit in front of the computer waiting to execute on a trade. Swinging gives a little lot more flexibility, but I also have to be really aware of where are my stop losses and where are the limits of what kind of losses I can take before I can move out of it or just continue.
Yeah, scalping is definitely more high maintenance trading style, whereas swinging is more hands off. So for swinging, would you say that you try to set stop losses, or do you kind of check on it every day?
I think I need to check on it every day because the market can suddenly throw. Oh, I mean, in LKS we call them skem candles, or just these random downward or upward shifts cause this sudden change that hits stop losses. I mean, I think those might be manipulated and they can cause you to just lose your position. And then, so I think in those moments, you do need to kind of check in every so often. I set my stop losses. If I do set them, I set them to, something that is ideally at a certain level. I
Hmm.
don't base on a percentage because that's what I started doing
Yeah.
initially at LKS, but eventually became more about price.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of LKS, when did you join the LKS Discord?
March 1st, 2021.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's been like what? Has it been two
Yeah.
years?
Mhm.
And I guess as a diamond member, you literally have access to all the channels, all the resources, the entire server. What would you say your favorite channel or channels are in LKS?
My favorite channels in terms of time spent, Market Chat has been my primary place to go because when I entered the LKS community to begin with, I asked oh, where does everybody hang out? Where does everybody, talk? And Market Chat came up. There
Hmm.
were some other channels back then, like some sort of nighttime thing. I forgot, but ultimately
Oh, After Dark.
yeah,
I think
after
that
dark.
channel
Yeah. But then I just found out I'd just rather stay in one place. And so
is
Market Chat became kind of the community, I guess, town hall. And then
with
after
betting and stuff.
that, yeah, it's a good place to check out kind of what's going on. It gives you a sense of the tone of the community during any time of the day. And then you can get into more specific ones, which I like Panda. Panda VIP has been very good for those who
Mhm.
want scalp, but also even as a guide for those who are doing swing trades.
Hmm.
And then there's the turtle guys, which are like the more long term guys. And I pop in every so often to ask about stocks and what their thoughts on long term for any stock
Yeah.
pickers.
Yeah, Alex from Panda, he goes live trading, live streaming every day. And then Andy goes live at least twice a week, I think, wants to do like a prep for the Monday kind of workshop, and then he does kind of a chart review on Sunday as well. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Cool, even like utilizing the entire Discord. Okay, last question.
Hmm.
Any advice for someone just starting out? Like you started 2 years ago.
Hmm.
What's something that you would have want to tell yourself 2 years ago when you were just starting out?
I think the first thing I would tell myself is to be patient because I think anybody entering LKS or any sort of finance related community, and back then these things were just starting, is to be patient. People enter these communities thinking that it's going to be quick money and just
Hmm.
immediate, like, oh, if I just all in on this thing, it's going to all work out. But it never turns out that way.
Yeah.
So I think patience leads to two things. One is patience gives you the time to observe what works and what doesn't, because quite often trades don't play out. And if you're just starting out and you're all inning, or you're just like really aggressive about your trades and you don't have stop losses, you're gonna incur some losses. And
Hmm.
and so unless you know the rules and kind of see how people are playing it and seeing how things don't go their way, then you get a little bit more cautious, and that allows you to ultimately the second part, which is you're allowing yourself to back test some of your thoughts. Sometimes if an alert comes out, I'm not going to just sometimes immediately jump. I'm going to look at the chart. I'm going to look at a few things to make sure like where it is and where it could fail.
I think a bonus question, what are your thoughts on paper trading?
Paper trading to me is I think I've seen people say that, oh, it's not that good because you're not putting real risk, real psychology against what you're doing. But I actually, in my personal opinion, I think it's useful because
Have you
even though
paper traded before?
I have done it a little bit, and in fact, if you paper trade and if you enter just like the novice trader and you're like super aggressive, it's like, oh, I'm going to all in on this, you're going to realize that strategy doesn't work really quickly because you don't have the psychological weight. And so
Yeah.
you'll find out that your bravery is actually really stupid.
Yeah, because you were talking about backtesting strategy. Sometimes I feel like in the trading community, people who paper trade kind of almost get shamed, but there really is no shame to, not have your money on the line and just backtest a couple of strategy, especially when you're joining a new community. Just learning how to navigate in the community and knowing what to follow and what not to follow. I think sometimes maybe paper trading might be the way to go in the beginning. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's this huge expectation by any kind of person who wants to get into trading that, oh, I'm just gonna like get the position and let it run, and I'm gonna make money, and then I'll figure out when to sell later. Um, that's actually something that leads to disaster, and quite often people don't know when to cut out or when to sell. I think it's easy to
Yeah.
get in, it's hard to get out.
That's very true. The execution of entry and exit is equally important. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I'd say the same with investors. Like if you're a long term investor, when the heck do you get out? Right? Is it 5 years, 10 years? You have to have like clear kind of goals in mind, whether that be the levels of the prices or where you want to go with it, or the horizon of company, etc.
Hmm. Yeah. Very good points. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure the LKS channel will be seeing more of KJ in the future. He'll be sharing a lot of his experiences on this page. So definitely follow for more.
Absolutely. And I'd say that, anybody looking to get into LKS, it's a place to really help you risks manage ultimately. It's not a place, fully to just like keep following alerts. It's a place where you, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and really
Yeah.
become like a better person of yourself, and then also find out who you are as a person, and also develop your own style in the end. Because everybody in this Discord, they trade different ways.
Hmm. Yeah. Find your own style. Awesome. Cool.
So